may recognize this face, John Rembold, Executive Director of Hilton Head Island Airport, and there is a lot happening here, so we decided to come over and get the scoop. How are you?
Doing great.
So a lot to talk about, obviously. We're standing outside, which isn't necessarily typical. We might normally be in the airport, but why are we here?
Well, we're standing where the new TSA checkpoint would be located.
This is this is wild, because I know lots of our viewers and myself as well have been using this airport for a long time, and what is about to happen here is going to be just hugely convenient for our locals here, because the expansion is coming. You're breaking ground very soon, and just tell us kind of how the lay of the land is going to look.
Yeah, so we'll break ground in early November and then move into the construction phase of the first phase of the terminal. So where we stand, and then kind of behind or in front of where we are will be the new boarding gate areas where all the passengers will board. We'll have a couple of new jet bridges, which is a huge addition and benefit to the consumers. But you know, the addition of this space is going to be huge for the travelers, because it'll meet the needs of today, and folks will feel a lot more comfortable inside the building. There'll be a lot more room, but it also kind of sets us up a little bit for the future as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And anytime you've come, and I tell you, there's a lot of travelers and tourist season, you feel the flex for sure, but this will help you just really feel comfortable traveling on and off season. So I think that is so great, and we're so excited for that. I want to know a little bit about how this is all possible, and I'm sure our viewers do too.
Well, a lot of hard work. It's been a lot of years putting all this together, but we really couldn't do this without the assistance of the FAA. They're kind of the big grant folks, but then locally we had a lot of help from our local elected officials. So your state reps who are right here on Hilton Head Island really fought for us. So as citizens out there, really need to pat them on the back, because they went to work in Columbia and they pulled in about $15 million for this project, which is really big.
That's huge, and we're so glad that they did. Let's talk just briefly about whether or not people are going to feel a lot of disruption as things are happening here. What do you think? Is there going to be a lot of movement? This is a pretty big project.
It is, and we're doing it in phases. So this first phase won't have as much disruption inside the building, but there'll be a little bit out front, because we're going to redo the road that's in front of the terminal. So there'll be a little bit of coordination there, but this first phase is going to be a little bit less intense.
Yeah, and that's helpful to know, because you've got it planned out so that there isn't going to be a whole lot of disruption to travelers, and the little bit that they see is going to be worth it in the long run.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit with the time we have left, John, about what the season looks like. Obviously, as we head into the holiday and winter time, things change here at the airport. What does that feel like for locals who are traveling?
Well, I think we kind of transition a little bit from a tourist airport to now it's the locals' real hometown airport. So they've got the chance to get the front row parking and, slide right in, go through security and get on the airplane and kind of feel like this is their place. So we like to think that we're the best thing for everybody during each season.
Yeah, and you do a great job of finding ways to transition from just such different numbers traveling through here. Right. I want to remind our viewers too, who, if you haven't flown out of Hilton Head Island Airport in a while, maybe you want to come check it out now. There's been a lot of expansion and changes just in the current terminal that have really benefited folks. Remind us of a couple of the things that you've done, we've talked about over the last year.
Sure. Well, one of the biggest is the TSA checkpoint. We've got all new equipment in there, so that whole experience is much smoother than it ever was in the past. And we've also got a nice concessions area, both on the pre-security side, and then once you've gone through security, you have that opportunity as well. So if you need that morning coffee or the muffin or what have you, it's there for you.
And I remember days when none of that existed, and it is so great to have, just a little something, a little extra. And yeah, I love the way that you've just really kept up and, renovated, kept things going, and I just can't wait to see what is to come, because it's big.
Well, it's all good. The next few years could be a little bit dusty here and there, but I promise when the dust settles, everybody's going to love it.
It's going to be amazing. John, thank you for giving us the scoop. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.